Bit of an update around my plans for Marathon to Sables. I have been quiet for a while. Some may have noticed, some not. Bottom line is, about 12 and a half weeks ago, 2nd of August, I did Rainbow Beach Marathon, attempted it. Around about 6 kilometres in, I tripped and fell, corked my left shin muscle, carried on and ended up injuring my right knee. Hamstring tightened up, pulled up eventually, didn't finish the race. Thought maybe 3 weeks I would have recovered. Didn't happen. Had an MRI, discovered I had a meniscus tear in my right knee. Saw a surgeon. They suggested it may heal by itself, so I needed to give it at least 12 weeks. Bottom line is now 12 and a half weeks, and my knee has pretty much stabilized. So good news there. I'm slowly getting back into running. Yesterday I did 5 kilometers non-stop on the treadmill. It has been a slow build to 1 minute off for a while, 2 minutes, a couple of 3-kilometer runs, now up to 5 kilometers. Last Sunday I did a Cat 5 bushwalk and relatively hot, and that went really well. So knee is now stable. Hamstring is still a little tight, but slowly lengthening my run, so that comes in. So bottom line is back on again. I really thought our campaign had derailed and I needed to defer, but right now from where I sit, it's provided I get consistent training, I should be able to come back and have a decent race. So what's my plan from here? I really got to reassess as to where I am, because I was quite far down the road of training before the Rainbow Beach Marathon. So it's a bit of a reset. What I need to focus on is one, obviously building up endurance, building up those distances slowly. I've got time, 5 months. So during the course of November, trying to get up to, slowly getting up to around about 15 Ks consistent running. And that's kind of a checkpoint. A lot of the Sables is going to be walking, lots of sand. I think it's 25% is soft sand of the 270 kilometers approximately, and a lot of riverbeds, some hard ground, but all hot, sandy, rocky. So terrain is going to be important. So in training endurance on similar terrains is going to be the key. So that's plan number one in the broader plan. Number two is last 12 weeks, but down on things, but depressed. And what happens with me is when that happens, I tend to eat more. And eating more and less training just packed on a bit of weight. So it's not about whether I'm fat or not. It's about being efficient. Being sand, being hills, sand dunes, light counts. So somehow over the next 5 months, I need to probably shed around about 12 kilos. Hopefully that will just come through most of my training, but just being more disciplined about what I eat and tend to eat healthy anyway. I just need to make sure it's in line with my energy consumption. Hopefully we'll get that down. The other one is strength. Obviously, if you're going to do backup, basically averaging a marathon a day, and amongst that 100K, and followed by 42K the day after, strength is going to be important. Functional reserve. You can't really have muscle breakdown and then expect to recover overnight to actually do it again. So functional reserve is important. So I'm going to be doing a lot of strength work. Not quite ready for strength work in the legs yet, given what I've been through the last 12 weeks. So that might have to wait until January before I really get into any serious strength work. The other one is walking pace. So for my age, I'm a reasonably runner. I can run a decent pace for the longer distances. However, my walking sucks. My walking pace is just really, really slow. It always has been. So I'm going to do a lot of work on pack walking, hills, terrain, etc., putting on the pack and just setting up a consistent pace, 10 minutes a kilometer or less, and really practicing that as a skill. It may actually end up being more important than my running, to have a consistent pace while walking. That's going to be a key. In terms of equipment and testing, I'm quite well advanced in testing all the equipment I've been using, from gaiters to shoes to sleeping bags to backpack, all being selected. Just some finer points I need to refine in terms of shirts I'm going to wear, headgear. So not too worried about that. That'll work itself out as I go forward. But back on track. That's the important. Maybe need to reassess my goals a little bit, but I'll set up. My first target is 15K run by the end of November. Pace is not a concern with that, and managing starting to manage my weight down to where it needs to be. Race day, strength can wait. I will be doing a fair bit of pack walking on mixed terrain. The one thing I do need to do around strength, and I may start that early, is late, just before Rainbow Beach, I did a 30K beach run, and I noticed just around my ankles and lower shins, a real burning sensation on the sand. So sand is clearly soft, and it uses different muscles, the smaller muscles around to stabilize. So my lower legs were really burning early on in that run walk, same as Rainbow Beach earlier in that marathon, running across the Carlos Blow, which is soft sand. Again, that same sensation. So I've clearly got a lot of strength work to do around my ankles, and I will actually kick off as part of my walking program over the next month. So key notes is I booked my hotel, so definitely locking this in. Race is paid for. Haven't booked flights yet. I'll wait until December to see how my run's tracking. But it's all go at the moment.